feel, and I can tell you love this piece, right? Yes. You bring me so much joy when you play it because of your expression. You're smiling when you're playing. I mean, I can see your love for it, and that I
When
appreciate.
Excuse me, when I smile, I make mistake here and there. So I know you know. I know you know.
No, but I also know, I know that you're
Uh-huh.
enjoying the performance. Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And, the
Indeed.
piece, and you're doing a beautiful job. Really, really very beautiful. Now, you're very careful about things, and I appreciate that. So the level of control was really very nice and appreciated. A lot of people go too far with this and make kind of some crazy choices and end up out of control. So you were controlling things really beautifully. You were emoting quite a lot. We were just talking last night. I think Rofshan should just come give this lesson because he does play this piece in the absolute most beautiful way. If you haven't heard it yet, I think it's on YouTube, isn't it? You're recording from GFA, right? So he very boldly decided, I'm going to play this in the GFA finals, goes on to win, and the recording from that is on YouTube. Please go check it out.
Okay.
It's just a masterful interpretation.
What's his name?
Rofshan. I know, you're going to have to, he's the genius that played the opening Friday night concert. Look him up, okay? So check out his interpretation, because I think what he does is really have an amazing sense of expression while having a really strong sense of pulse. And that's what I kind of want to work on with you. All right, now, so one of my very favorite all-time students, he's a guy probably about your age, lawyer, super wonderful, dear friend of mine. His name's Randy. I'll leave out his last name for protecting his privacy. So, because Randy studied with me for a number of years, and man, there was something that I discovered that I didn't know existed before Randy, and it was called Randy Rhythm. And it's not what's printed on the page. And I would talk to Randy about Randy Rhythm. I'm like, that's not what's on the page. And he would say, I know, but it's so pretty. And there was very little that I could do to convince Randy that perhaps Randy Rhythm could be put on the shelf for a little bit. And I suspect you've made some changes here and there. Have you noticed that? Yes, I thought you had noticed that. It's not like you don't know what you're doing. And I think that's part of your charm. And I think there's no way I could ever talk you out of all of that.
I would like to change that.
You would like to change that?
Yes.
Wow, you're much more open-minded than my dear friend Randy.
Anything recommend, I would love to
Okay.
change and practice the way, professionally.
Wow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
The way you-
I really think a lot of your charm is some of these, what I would call slightly bizarre things that you do, where the rhythm just goes places I've never heard. But I think the piece is more effective if we can find a little bit sense of stronger pulse in there. So can we work on that?
Sure.
Okay, fantastic. So from the top, now, okay, so we have harmonics, great, those are perfectly in rhythm, no problem. Then we have this scale run. Now, everybody's going to do that differently, right? And it's written as 3 beats of 16th notes. Of course, it shouldn't be played dika, 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 dum. That would be ridiculous. So there's absolutely room for interpretation in there. But I do want us to be aware of the general idea that we're in 3/4. You want to take that thought and see what you can do with that opening run? That was long rhythm. Okay, good. Now, so tell me about you're really pausing in the middle here.
Okay.
And then you're pausing it again towards the end. So here's a thought for you. I think we can be very flexible, but if you do too much interrupting your idea by pulling back, we get fragments instead of one idea. Here we have, this is one idea, right? Dee-da, 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 da-da, dum, right? And if you go dee-da, 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 dum, we've kind of created 3 ideas from one. And if we do that too much, then the piece is, kind of like a house that has a flower pot next to a picture of a donkey next to, right? Like it just like doesn't make sense, right? I don't want my flower pot next to my donkey, right? We have to like somehow create scenes. And this is one scene, not three scenes.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
So have a little more fluidity in the idea. I'm not telling you how to do the idea, but a little more fluidity.
Let me try again.
Okay. Good. Now you went much faster. You don't have to go faster.
Oh.
What if, because it gets hard, by the way, these runs are not super easy. You're playing them very well and consistently. What if you start a little slower so that you can speed up without freaking out? Yeah? That was much better. That was much more one idea. Now, you can, within that realm, experiment and try lots of different things,
Okay.
right? But that, at least for me, felt like one idea instead of three ideas.
Okay.
Better?
Yep.
Good, good. And that'll be the same thing. Let's go right to here. And so we're going to deal with just that much first. So if we're being a little more straight, I really like this part fairly straight actually, because there's so much that's not straight in the beginning. I kind of really, I like this when it has a great sense of pulse. Bum, ba, dee, da, dum, ba, dum. And we can retard a smidge here. But you were really
Retarded.
pausing here in the middle of the phrase, which again fragments it, right? And then this really came at a funny point. I honestly don't remember if it was early or late, but it didn't feel organic to me. So let's go back and be careful on the arrival of the B. I want you to pluck it when you arrive. I don't want to hear dai dum, dai dum. I want you to pluck it when you arrive. Yes, good. Good. Pause. Good. Much better. Now, so that was very straight. Thank you. But let's make it beautiful now. So just keep good pulse like that, but give me the same great sense of expansive dynamics that you had before. You had really good stuff going on, okay? And you killed it when I asked for straight. So we can do really good pulse and really great dynamics. I know you can, right?
Okay.
A lot of times when we're too concerned with straight, we just go flat.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to go flat, okay? Give me range within a pulse, okay?
Okay. Continue.
Yeah, give me this. What do you think?
I think it's slow. I think because it's the 16 at the end, so I need to speed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Is correct?
That's absolutely fine. Yeah, he starts out with 16th notes and it ends with 30 seconds, so it should
30
get
seconds, yeah.
faster, right?
Yeah. So I need to begin from here.
Mm-hmm.
Speed it.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Now tell me about what happens before that.
That's 16. I have to even it out
How so? And why?
because it's going to pick up the 32 right there. So I need to even for the 16 and 16, and then increase the speed at 32.
Yeah, so he's kind of writing in an accelerando. So what I want you to hear is in the first two beats of 16th notes, I want you to have same thing in mind that we had in the earlier run, that we don't want to fragment it too much, because now we have this as one big idea,
Okay.
and it's many more notes than this was as one big idea. And right now you're fragmenting a little bit around the shifts, and so I kind of want, which is understandable, right? Like they're
Yeah.
kind of big shifts. I haven't played this in so many years. I don't know what I would do, where I would shift. Oops. Okay, so where are you starting? You're up here.
Yeah.
And then left, right?
Yep. So what is your suggestion?
Yeah,
When
right.
you change the
Do you do this?
one string, then you change it. Oh.
Yeah. So I think I have really squeaky new strings right now, but I think I would use a glissando. Good, but do you hear the giant pause you put in there?
Oh.
It's habitual, right? So go slower. Listen to me. Just remember this: if we're pausing somewhere, it's here,
Oh. Okay.
right? It's not just conveniently where you're shifting, right?
Yeah.
That is a definition of Randy rhythm, in my opinion, right? Oh God, that note sounds so good. I'm gonna pause right there. No. It's because the phrase goes here. Right?
Yeah.
So you can sit there a little bit if you want, but
Okay.
you're not,
I didn't.
because you're like, oh, I'm comfortable now, so I'm gonna play. So we have to really think a little bit more beyond where our fingers are comfortable. So on this, I would just start slower to make that first, because the first shift's the only one that's actually hard. And the next one we have an open string, right?
Okay.
Right, so I only paused there because I didn't know what I was doing. And then I'm there, right? I just made a major, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so start slower. So after, let's see, sorry for, my pauses are because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then moving on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? You try that, you're gonna do it better than me because you know the tune, right?
Yeah.
Show me. It's too fast. And then I hear a pause. Good. You paused on the B flat. So let's try and do it without pause right now. So super
I see.
slow. Good. Started too fast now, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. That's gonna be the idea. That's gonna be it. Now it's gonna take you some practice
Yeah.
to break the habits of where you were pausing.
Okay, pausing.
But where you were pausing was kind of based on these guys and your fingerings.
Yeah.
Versus what really makes sense for the music, right? So that's going to be the right idea. And then if you start slowly enough here, the first shift won't be so difficult. Second shift is a no issue because we have the open string. And then boom, you hit the 32nd.
What?
Do that again for me. That's all right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
No pause. Okay.
That's okay. Good. Now, I'm going to say something that you might just want to throw away, but I'm going to say it anyway. So, I haven't played this piece since I was a kid, and I am certain when I was a kid I did not do what I'm about to say, and most people don't. But when I hear this piece, I'm always disturbed by all that. That really, irritates me, all that ringing, because we clearly have a bass line. Sorry. And it's so powerful when all I hear is the notes that are supposed to ring. So, now, makes it a lot more difficult. But wow, I just find that to be so powerful. And look, there's two ways you could interpret this. Okay, I find this bass line to be interesting. The other way you could think of it is, okay, but it's so nice to have that foundation a little bit more. So what if it was because that's still sort of, or because that's where the harmony changes to A, right?
Yep.
Right? So maybe you kill the D at beat 3 when it changes to the A major chord. I don't know. I just want you to think about it. It makes it more difficult to play. It's not difficult in these two measures, but as you get going within the piece and that bass pattern repeats, whatever you choose in the beginning, you got to maintain, and it's more difficult. I think it's worth it because we get much better harmonic clarity. Okay? So that's food for thought for you. Show me the major. Where's the major?
Major, the chant. Oh,
I think it's
the next.
yeah.
Oh yeah, right here.
Yes,
Right.
fantastic. Show me the major. Seventh position. Good pause. I love your gliss, by the way. You have a really kind of nice sensibility about that. The rhythm's really like in different places on this one. So I would love, the reason I wanted to jump right to the major, I feel like in the minor section of the main body, your rhythm was better, still room to think about things, but in the major, you just went completely off-road.
Upbeat.
Yes. You're driving through the desert, hitting bumps. So I would love to get you a little bit more in line here so I can feel the pulse.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you play again from the beginning. We're not going to go fast. The beginning of the major, so. Good. And I don't want it straight, but I'm just trying to straighten you out. Good, pause. So within that, there are parts where tapping, I mean, well, the whole thing, tapping feels ridiculous. And I don't really want you to play in any kind of a metronomic way. But I just want some of the relationships to square up because he's written 16th notes and 8th notes with ornaments. And the ornaments are triplety. But there's other places where other things are beginning to feel triplety because you're just being so free with how you treat the rhythm. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
So let's play together, and I'm probably going to mess up a lot, but let's play together and just see if we can feel something that feels a little bit more like what's written on the page
Okay.
and yet has a flexibility. Let's see if we can find it together, okay? Good. So on these ornaments, I want them to be a little bit faster. Because if they take too much time, they're going to pull you out of rhythm. So yes, better. That sounds just like Here Comes the Sun, doesn't it? Anybody else hear that right now? Yeah. So yes, good. Good. So that's another one. So you could do, or you could do fast or slow on that, right? He writes that, but you could treat it in a triplet way. If you choose to treat it in a triplet way, you really have to full on go for that. Right? So you're kind of living in this in-between world. So what I want to do is encourage you to find the way in which you want to express it with a little bit more reverence for beat. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you decide that you want to treat that ornament as a triplet, then really make it a triplet. Don't make it somewhere living in between, because that's when I get rhythmically confused. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. So in general, a little bit more pulse, a little bit elongate the lines. Don't fragment by pausing in between
Yeah.
so much. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Questions for me?
No? Perfect.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Great
Thank
job.
you very much.
Thank you.